Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here. Talk to you about the Pineys book 11, and as much as I can tell you about it without giving away the story. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, like the Pineys book 11. It literally just dropped. You could order it right now and be like one of the first people to have it. I will have copies though. The next show I'll have copies of number 11 will probably be the Ocean City Comic Con. That's at the end of the month, the 25th and 26th, at the Music Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey. I can't wait to get my hands on some copies. It's called The Piney That Killed Thomas Edison. Now, a lot of people said, can you say that? First off, Thomas Edison's already dead. And this is obviously a work of fiction. So, yes, it's a joke because of what happens in the book. Now, again, I can't give you the whole thing, but I will tell you. You'll see a character chained up against the wall of the church in the background. That is Mother Leeds, the mother of the Jersey Devil. And in the Pineys mythos, she is a witch. And in some of the actual folk tales, Mother Leeds is a witch. It goes back and forth between just being someone who called out to the forces of evil, the devil, and the forces of hell at a weak moment, and then some versions of the Jersey Devil tale have Mother Leeds that she's an actual witch, that she actually practices black magic and does all sorts of things like that. It kind of depends on the version of the tale of the Jersey Devil you want to tell or have learned about. So yes, this is the story that is the final fate of Mother Leeds, like what happened to her back in the 1700s after she gave birth to the Jersey Devil, and in the Pineys opened up the portals of hell and flooded the Pine Barrens with devils. Now, a lot of people have asked me, why did you, create that sort of mythos or whatever? And it is to facilitate the telling of lots of different stories. Because when you do a book series or a comic book series or you create a universe, you want something that's expansive, right? And one of my inspirations is Jack Kirby. And Jack, very late in his life, proved, man, I was just so impressed with the comics he did for Topps. And the thing that impressed me about those comics was the ideas behind them. So for those of you who don't know, and I think I've told this story before, the Topps comics, the premise of there was a premise that was the entire series, right? So the entire series had, I think, 4 different titles. 3 of the characters and then another one. There's also a couple of other comics that dovetailed into it, but the basic premise of the superhero characters was starts thousands of years ago, and tens of thousands of years ago there was another age of man. We're in the 9th age. This was during the 8th age of man, and unbeknownst to the people of this time period, tens of thousands of years ago, there were these men that were very advanced technologically, and they built. They knew their age was coming to an end for various reasons. They don't really go into why, but their age was coming to an end, and they knew their civilization was going to crumble. Come over here, Jim. So what Kirby writes is, during the end of the 8th age of man, the scientists got together and they built these suspended animation chambers that would allow 3 heroes to sleep for 10,000 years. And when they woke up, they would be in the 9th age of man. And they would have superpowers to help guide them. Right? Sounds very noble. So they picked these 3 people, they put them in the chambers, and they packed them away. However, the scientist didn't want to die. And there were hundreds of these scientists. So in secret, they built their own suspended animation chambers. So they could survive into the ninth age of man. They weren't supposed to survive. And so they, hundreds of them, I forget, there was a total. I want to say like 1,000 or something. But they build like another 1,000 chambers secretly so they can survive into the next age. And they wake up a little sooner. They rig their chambers so they can wake up sooner before the other guys. And so when the series starts in the modern era, the heroes wake up and they've got these crazy powers, and it kind of starts like a typical superhero comic. But what you're tasked with is a world in which they're the good guys, those three, versus 1,000 bad guys, because the scientists have become corrupted. They weren't supposed to survive. They survive anyway, and they have woken up early, and they're sort of greedy, self-serving people. And that's a great setup, right? So now you have 3 versus 1,000. So that's kind of what I was going for in the Pineys, right? I couldn't just do the story of the Jersey Devil. There's not enough to do a series. And there's all sorts of other supernatural creatures in South Jersey folklore. So I wanted to set up a kind of, platform for the series that makes sense. So in the series, Mother Leeds opens up the portals of hell and floods the Pine Barrens with hundreds of devils. This story is about her final fate and one of her more powerful allies that survives, and it ties into Thomas Edison. But I won't give away the story. I'll only say that if you see Thomas Edison in New Jersey, run. So it starts out in the past during Thomas Edison's time, which is fun because you'll see in the first chapter a payoff from the previous book where one of the characters mentions something that happened to their ancestors in the past. And we get to see some of that. It was just an offhanded comment by Hemingway in book 10. So we get to see what that was in the modern day. And we also get to see the ancestors of the Galloways in a generation from like the early 1900s. So we get to see sort of steampunk Galloway hunters fighting the devils. So that's a lot of fun. That's the opening chapter. And then it goes into the story. And, of course, it starts in South Jersey in the Pines. And eventually it leads to some places up north. Taylor Ham country. And eventually they come back to South Jersey for the climactic battle, of course. There's also a good couple of chapters about Hamilton, New Jersey, which I'm very excited about. I go into a little bit of the history of Hamilton, and those of you who have read some of the history of Hamilton, New Jersey, will recognize some of the names of, I'll say, the people who are running things in Hamilton. Hamilton's a great town, by the way. Give you a little actual history on Hamilton. Hamilton was originally called Hammond Town, and it was founded by the area was settled by 2 brothers, the Coffin brothers, and the middle name of one was Hammond, thus Hammond Town, and the middle name of the other was Winslow, thus a few miles away, Winslow Township, and they settled the area, and that's how Hamilton and Winslow get its names. Then we segue into a little history about blueberries. And blueberries, Hamilton is the blueberry capital of the world. If you've never been there, every year at New Year's, they drop the giant blueberry instead of a ball. In New York, we do a blueberry, and it comes down, and Happy New Year. Also, every year, there's a blueberry festival. There's a big blueberry harvest. We're really big on blueberries. And let me tell you something. They cannot be beat. Now, I got a pint of blueberries in my fridge right now that are pretty damn good. They're from Mexico. I gotta say, outside of New Jersey, probably some of the best blueberries I've ever had. They still kind of can't compare to Jersey Blues, but I'm getting them fresh, like practically right off the bush. They are fantastic here. And blueberries are such a thing in Hamilton. At one point, there was an all blueberry store, and I so miss this store. It had nothing but blueberry stuff. Blueberry, chocolate covered blueberries, which is the main reason I went in there. Blueberry soaps and all kinds of blueberry related things. Obviously, it was going to be tough to keep a store like that open under any circumstances. But gee, I wish that store had stayed in business. But if you haven't been to Hamilton, you really should. For a while, we had the most millionaires per capita of any town in the United States for a long time because of the blueberry millionaires. And the blueberry millionaires were farmers who made their money after blueberries became cultivated. The modern blueberry was cultivated in the early 1900s. Now, they existed before that, but the cultivation made them what they are today. And the farmers in Hamilton and in nearby Whitesbog, where they were cultivated, grew blueberries. Although Whitesbog was more of a cranberry town, really, Hamilton too was to some extent. But the Hamilton blueberry millionaires are a real thing. There was a lot of farmers who made millions in the 20s and 30s on blueberries because they were just so huge. They were new. People loved them, obviously. And let me tell you something. They're some of the best you can eat. So, yeah. And so that's sort of the history of Hamilton. If you ever come to Hamilton, we have great restaurants. I say we because my relatives live down there. I kind of consider it my second hometown. And I do love it. We have 2 live theaters now. It also has my favorite ice cream place, Royal Crown Ice Cream, which uses fresh blueberries. I've talked about that before in the soft serve, and fresh strawberries and fresh raspberries and blackberries, and when they have them, peaches is a thing down there too, although the peaches have been wiped out. I'm not sure when they're coming back. These days we also have a few breweries. I think we have 4 breweries in Hamilton now, a distillery that I did a talk at, wineries, of course, tons of wineries. And just a great area for Italian food. Tons of Italians, which is the other thing we have in Hamilton. We have the oldest Italian-American festival in the United States. Started in 1875. And the characters in the Pineys attend the Italian festival in the early chapters as well. So you get to see a little bit of that. And that's a great time. Highly recommend the Italian festival in Hamilton. That happens in July. You can see the March of the Saints. That's that's a real Italian festival. Like some of the Italian festivals, it's just an Italian American thing and whatever. Not to knock it, but but this has the actual marching of the saints. I think to have that, like, that makes it super authentic. And this one is the oldest in the United States. 1875. That's pretty damn old, right? Pretty damn old. We got the Sons of Italy down there. We got all sorts of great Italian marts. Have Bagliani's and oh god, I forgot the name of the other one. Inferrera's. Those 2 places are great. I just went to Cash's Bakery. That's pretty good. Plenty of Italian places to eat. Rocco's Town House, Joe Italiano's, Iliana's. What else? Lots of places. We also have great Mexican food. There's a wine bar in the middle of town. There's the Funky Cow, nice little coffee shop / ice cream place. So great stuff to see in Hamilton. Just a nice little lazy town if you ever want to come down and just have dinner and walk around the town on a nice day. Highly recommend. You can go to the brewery or whatever. It's going to be great this year. I will probably be doing a signing at some point in Hamilton. I mean, I just did the distillery not too long ago. But I haven't scheduled any of the breweries yet. But I'm sure something will hit because it is Jersey Devil country. But in terms of Piney's Book 11, I can't really say more without giving it away. But it touches on a lot of history of Thomas Edison, the history and slash folklore behind Mother Leeds and the Jersey Devil and South Jersey in general. And that's about it. That's about all I can say without giving away too much story. I'm loving the cover. I think Vig Starmax, my cover artist, just really, man, this one just blew me away. Now, he sends me the preliminaries, and I thought, oh, this looks cool. But man, when he sent me this, I was like, holy cow. Wow. Look at this thing. I mean, the detail here is pretty spectacular. I mean, he also has a great way of framing things. I gave him very little feedback on this because he just nails it. He just understands. I gave him a description of what I wanted in the scene, but, he just gets it. It's so great to work with somebody this talented who just gets it right away. And I'll have to give big ups to Amazon for, I put this up and within 24 hours, both books approved. Now, I have screwed this up in the past a bunch of times. I confuse the print with the Kindle. I get the prices wrong. I get things wrong, and I have to go back and fix it. I'm sure at some point I'll be back to fix something I forgot in book 11. I'm pretty sure I got everything. God, I hope I got all the errata correctly. Please don't say anything if I didn't. Yeah, I think I got everything. So yeah, this is going to be a good one. It's pretty self-contained. I mean, it does capitalize on some of the events of the previous books, of course. But another good book to start on. If you just started on this, I think you'd follow most of it. I don't think you'd be too confused. I do mention things from the previous books, but I also try to reintroduce the characters just enough so you'll get it. I mean, I try to write these things as episodes of the TV show. So if you're 11 episodes in a show, you can follow it, without seeing the other episodes. You may hopefully you watch it and you go, oh, I want to go back and catch some of the earlier stuff because this sounds interesting that they're referring to. But this one reads pretty separately, as did 10. And but it also capitalizes on things that have gone before, and I try to keep building it. The next book is going to be out in the summer. I got to get the book is done essentially. I haven't edited it yet. I have to get Vig the description so he can begin work on it. That's going to be a great cover too. I totally know what it's going to look like. And I'm sure Vig is going to knock it out of the park again. But my compliments to the chef, Vig. You do great work. And thanks to you all out there. I hope you'll spread the word on the Pineys number 11. I mean, I got 11 books. You can save money by buying them on Kindle Unlimited. They're $2.99 a piece. So $3 a book. You can get the whole run now for $33, basically. Read them on your Kindle. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read the whole run for free. I still get paid. And if you want hard books, and I do recommend hard books these days because so many authors are being censored, get yourself the hard copies if you can. They're only $7.99. Seems like a good deal. And I try to keep the books short. This one, on Kindle, it's 122 pages. I'm not sure. How many pages is it? Let's see. How many pages is the trade paperback? Let's check. Didn't check the page length on this. Oh, no, it's 122. So 122 on the trade. So I'm not sure. Does it have a page length for this? No, it just has a file size. Huh. Oh, 152. Oh, wait, it says print length 152. Oh, so maybe it's 152? I don't know. But that, to me, is a good length for a nice, short, punchy book, right? It says I purchased this. I didn't purchase. Oh, wait, I did purchase some because I purchased a bunch for cons. But I get a discount because it's my book. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. I hope you'll check out the Pineys, as you love to check out Little Joan. And the more Pineys you buy, the more wonderful treats she gets. Like I said, book 12 in July. Next signing or next event is in Stratford, New Jersey, at the library on Thursday. It took me a while to set this one up, so come on out if you can. I'll be doing my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble, and we'll see you